Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If you're here, then you maybe already know me. If not, my name is Haley, but a lot of people call me Halo. I am an entrepreneur. My lovely people of the internet have this running joke that I'm an angel that I lean into sometimes. But one thing I call myself a lot is dilettante. I don't like the definition of the word. I think it needs like a redefinition of kind of a dabbler and someone who likes to do everything. And I studied English and writing, but I worked in tech for a couple years. And I have this philosophy that I think a lot of people share, that is that you can literally learn to do anything. You can learn how to do anything if you just put in the time, put in the work, apply yourself, be willing to mess up, and if you have curiosity about it. And I do all of the tech stack on hotliterati.com, my online community to make more people in the world hot, cool, and well-read, and would love to see you over there. I went on a date last year, with this guy who was one of the founders of this like music app, and he said something that really stuck with me about even with AI kind of allowing anyone to code, he still wanted to code projects to be like as close to the source as possible. And I don't like anything to be a black box to me. And even though I've used like drag and drop editors and like Shopify and different things throughout different iterations of my stage as an entrepreneur, I want to learn how to code, and I want to learn kind of the basics of software engineering because I feel like it would be really interesting. And I have a really similar curiosity around AI and have gone to a lot of like lectures and things on neural networks because I think you should really take the time to try to learn things and understand things. So I thought it would be fun to try to document my journey of learning how to code and learn the basics of software engineering, just to prove that like you can literally learn how to do anything. And I think, yeah, people have like passions and gifts, but a big part of those passions and gifts are also exposure and belief that you have like an aptitude in something. So yeah, I'm going to document my process like little by little. And for week 1, I'm going to go ahead, jump in. I read and take notes by hand in order to really like get the information in my brain, because if you're a Hot Literati member, you know that writing by hand touches more parts of your brain than typing does. So I'm just gonna learn some concepts today, do some note-taking and some teaching, and then some application. Okay, angels, here is what I've learned. So the first section that I went through is just the basics of code and like, what is it? So what is code? Well, a computer is not smart. A computer is literal. It does what you tell it to do, in what order you tell it to do, and it has no ability to infer what you meant. So programming is a skill, not necessarily because it's hard, but because you have to learn how to communicate with something that has literally no tolerance for ambiguity. I drew a cute little computer there too. I always draw and doodle in my notes. So whenever I had to like share notes with a teammate or something, I would be like so embarrassed because there would be like stick figures of all the people in the meeting. Code, by definition, is instructions written in a language that a computer can execute. The language has rules or syntax, and if you break the rules, then the computer just stops and tells you that it has no idea what you're talking about. This is an error, and you will see many of them. They are not failures. They are the computer being literal about what you got wrong. And Python is one of these languages that a computer can understand. It was designed to be readable, and it looks more like English than most languages, which is why it is a very good starting point. So a metaphor is if we're writing a recipe, the computer is a cook who follows instructions perfectly and has absolutely zero common sense. So if we tell the computer to add salt without specifying how much salt, it will literally just stop and say that it doesn't have enough instructions. And that is what code is, and what programming is, and why it is a skill. Okay, so now we're going to talk about variables. A variable is a named container for information, And when you write a program, you have to store things temporarily so that you can use them later. And a variable is how you do this, how you store things. You give a container a name, and then you put something in it. So in Python, your container is like name, and your thing inside of it is your name. So mine would be Haley or Halo. And another container is like age, and the variable would be 25. You could have books read, and last year I read 40, so I could say 40. And you put an equal, which I'll put it on the screen. You put an equal in between the container and the variable, or the, oh my gosh. You put an equal in between what's on the right and the left. And words are strings, and they get quotations around them, whereas numbers do not get quotations around them. So the equal sign in between, like name and Halo or Haley, means gets, not equals. And all it means is it's taking, oh my gosh, as I explain this out loud, it's like clicking. It's taking the thing on the right and it's putting it inside of the container of the thing on the left. So it's like fetching it over and putting it in there. So in Python, text is always called a string, and yeah, it has quotations around it. Numbers don't get quotes, and Python treats them differently under the hood, but I haven't gotten to that yet, so we will get to that later. And the name that you give a variable matters because it needs to be clear. Like books read is pretty clear. X, not very clear. And you should write your code like you're going to peek back at it six weeks later, or someone else might, and they should understand it. Just like when you're writing language, you want to write like pretty clearly, right? And a good mental model for this, a variable is a labeled box. The label, that's the word I was looking for earlier, is the name, but what's inside can change. Python needs to know what kind of thing is in the box, words, numbers, or something else, because it handles words and numbers differently. And then I made some of my own variables according to Hot Literati's kind of like universe. So name, Halo, type, dilettante. If you've taken Intro to Hot Literati on our website, you know. Age 25, shoes 5. I have like 5 pairs of shoes I actually wear. Books read 11. I read like 11 books this year, I think. So yeah, those are variables and how Python treats them and retrieves them. I feel like I've learned so much and I've just like written so much today. So I'm gonna take a breather and do some cardio or something. But yeah, today was my day 1 of learning about computer programming and engineering and software, and I'm really excited for y'all to come back and continue to join me.